Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I've got some absolutely brilliant news for you, and that's that the CCIV and Lucid Motors merger is confirmed for July the 22nd. So today I want to run through this filing and also talk about what the merger means, how you can vote in the merger, what happens to your shares, and more. So stay tuned and let's make some money. But guys, before I get into the video, be sure to drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to make sure that you don't miss another video just like this one. Now I want to dive straight in with the key information. So, we can see from this filing that it says, on behalf of the Churchill Board of Directors, we cordially invite you to a special meeting of stockholders of CCIV to be held via live webcast at 10 AM Eastern Time on July 22nd. The special meeting can be accessed by visiting that link just there. Now to see how this shapes up for you, depending on what time zone you're in, 10 AM Eastern Time is the same as 9 AM Central Time, 7 AM Pacific Time. If you're in the UK, that's 3 PM. Germany is 4 PM. Dubai and the rest of the UAE is 6 PM. If you're in Australia, it's midnight or 2 AM. Japan, China, Singapore. There's basically all of the time zones, so hopefully that gives you an idea of what kind of time the merger vote will be. In terms of how you actually vote in the merger, I presume you just copy and paste this link and put it in your browser. It will then take you to the live meeting where you can hear the live meeting and the discussions going on. You should be able to vote within the website or the web page, but you can also submit a proxy card through your stockbroker or through your stock trading app. I presume if you just contact the help section or the contact us section of your individual stockbroker, they should be able to point you in the right direction. In terms of how long it will take for the merger votes to be counted and for the ticker to actually change, I had a look at Reddit, so it's not 100% guaranteed, but obviously this is just a typical example. So he asked typically how long between the proxy vote and the ticker change, and a reply is 1 to 2 days. Having a look at the calendar, considering the 22nd of July is a Thursday, we could expect ticker change on Friday or maybe ticker change on the Monday morning at the very start of trade of the next week. I just wanted to draw your attention to this paragraph here in case you're confused of how many shares you'll be receiving for each one of your CCIV shares. Just so you know, for each one of your CCIV shares, you will be receiving one share in LCID. But this paragraph here says that among other things, we expect that the per share merger consideration to shareholders of Lucid will be approximately 2.5 shares of CCIV, which will then be further exchanged into Lucid listed shares. So if you're a current shareholder of Lucid Motors, as in Peter Rawlinson, and if the employees, the current employees, or the PIF, you get 2.5 shares of CCIV for each one share of Lucid, and then when the ticker changes, each one of those CCIV shares changes into one Lucid share. In terms of the proposals to be voted on during that meeting, here it is outlined. The first three proposals are basically voting to approve the merger. The fourth proposal is a vote to approve a new stock incentive plan for the current employees. The fifth proposal is to elect the directors of CCIV onto the Lucid board. The sixth proposal is to basically stay in line with NYSE regulations or the stock exchange regulations. And the seventh proposal is to adjourn the meeting to a later date if necessary. I think this is a great representation in terms of what happens to your CCIV shares when the merger is complete. Currently, we're all part of this line here. We are one of 207 million shares, or maybe you own 5 shares, or 10 shares, or 100 shares, but you're that proportion of 207 million shares. Additional shares are then going to be issued and given to the PIPE investors, the Churchill sponsor, and the original Lucid shareholders. So even though you still get 1 for 1 shares, instead of having 1/207 millionth share of CCIV, you have 1/1.595 billionth of a share in Lucid Motors. That obviously equates to 13% of the overall company. I don't necessarily think it's unfair that we're only getting 13% because obviously Peter Rawlinson and the Saudi PIF need to be given shares in Lucid. You can't just imagine that Peter Rawlinson and the Saudi PIF get kicked out of Lucid and we get the whole company. And that's what it is and has been since February. In terms of what this column here is showing, it's assuming the maximum redemptions, and why this reduces to only 2% down from 13% is because even though you currently hold 1 share of CCIV, 1/207 millionth share, you don't actually have to have your CCIV share convert into a Lucid share. You can exchange your share back for cash at the underlying original issue price, which is $10. So if you didn't want your share to become a Lucid share, you could give back your share and receive $10 in return. Alternatively, probably a better idea would be to sell your CCIV share on the open market before the merger, because at the moment the stock price is around $25. Alternatively, obviously, you can hold your CCIV shares through the merger and they will become Lucid shares. In terms of how your shares actually transfer over from CCIV shares into Lucid Motors shares, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to apply on Robinhood or Webull or Freetrade. You don't need to call the broker. You don't need to sell your CCIV shares and buy Lucid Motors shares. The merger vote goes through on the 22nd, and then either on the 23rd or the 24th, when you wake up and log into your trading app, you'll just have Lucid Motors shares instead of CCIV shares. The filing also has a very useful questions and answers section, which should answer any other questions that you might have. If it's not answered in the Q&A section, be sure to drop a comment down below and I'll try and answer it if I can. In terms of how you can find that filing, go to the SEC website, the SEC EDGAR website, just type it into Google, search for CCIV, it will come up, and then it's going to be the very most recent prospectus. You click that and it opens up. Overall, I think this is absolutely brilliant news because it's what we've all been waiting for, a confirmed merger date. And obviously, as we all know, on that date, when the company does merge, Lucid Motors will get an additional $4 billion in cash, $2 billion from CCIV and an additional $2 billion from the PIPE investors. That cash is obviously going to be used to expand the factory and also as operating cash to produce those Lucid Airs and get them out to the customers. So hopefully it should only be a matter of weeks, less than a month, between the merger date of July the 22nd and those first few deliveries. Hopefully by early August, maybe even the very end of July. Guys, if you want to pick up some shares in CCIV before the merger with Lucid, be sure to sign up using the links down below in the description. You can currently get 2 free shares worth up to $1,850 with Webull at the moment if you're in the US, or a free share with Freetrade worth up to £200 if you're in the UK or in Europe. And as always guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out some of my others. Alternatively, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers!